What's up, guys? I'm What's Cooking. Today we're talking about the canyons and Rise of Kingdoms. Cue intro. I don't have an intro. I'm just joking. Now, canyon's a pretty in-depth topic. Get it? It's deep because it's a canyon. No, but there are 28 kinds of commanders, and there's a ton of equipment in the game. So when you throw all those together, there are billions, trillions, whatever it is, of combinations. So we're not going to talk about, who goes where and does what, build the perfect team for each individual. We're just going to give you basic information about the meta that you can then use to build your own team. And when you get new commanders, you keep applying this meta. These things will never change. They are constant. This is great information to have and know. So let's get going. Let's get right into it. Okay, so we're going to talk about what kind of marches you should have on the field. We're going to talk about what kind of formations you should be using on defense and offense. They're both kind of the same, but you'll understand when we get there. So let's keep rolling. Okay, so we're going to talk about the meta for the marches on the field. You get 5 marches in Canyon, presuming you have 5 marches unlocked in your city hall. And these 5 marches, only 3 of them have to be something, and then the other 2 you can make them whatever you want. So the first one that is absolutely essential is going to be your Mega Tank March. It's probably going to be like a Richard Martel or a Richard Mulan. It has to have anti-swarm technology for the meta. You're going to want anti-swarm technology. So that means Burning Blood, extra rage every time you get attacked in the defense tree, or Martel's 4th skill, extra counterattack damage, Mulan's 4th skill, which is rage reduction, that kind of stuff. So you're going to want anti-swarm tech on your super tank march. The next absolutely essential march is going to be your support march. I wrote down Joan Ethelfled Joan. Either way, you're going to want both those guys on your team because Joan is nasty. Ethelfled's AoE debuff. They're both really good. And the last one, you're going to want like an AoE based DPS march. So that could be like a minute buy bars. It could be a Kusunoki YSG. It could be any number of things. The other 2 you can choose if you want like an off tank or like a DPS. You'll decide with what commanders you have, how you can build them. I'll show you where each one of these marches is supposed to go and why they should be going there. So let's continue onwards. I'm just going to hide myself really quickly here just so I don't block the pictures. I'll use my mouse to kind of highlight what I'm talking about. Alright, great. So the first formation we're going to talk about here is called the 4-stack. I basically call it the 4-stack because I keep 4 of my troops stacked together, and then I keep 1 lone march all on its own. You can leave that lone march far away or bring it in tight. I prefer it to be far away, and we'll talk about that in a second. So the 4-stack is the same. It can be put in any way, but either way, the troops are lined up in the same order. So when I say they're lined up in the same order, I mean your Richard is on the inside corner here, out front. This is your Mega Tank. In this case, it's a Richard, but it could be a Richard Mulan, a Charles, what's his name, Scipio. Something super tanky here. This march is going to have to tank 4 marches if you're playing the attack, and if you're defending against the reverse 4-stack, which we'll also talk about. Okay, so you got your super tank march here. Behind it, you want your support march. I like to have the support march behind it just because, 1, it's your mega tank. If they straight up line up on you, then it's going to be hard for them to kill your support march, which is going to be providing benefits to your team for the duration of the entire fight, hopefully. I like to have an off tank up here. That way, if they line up straight against me, he's still kind of tanky. He won't take too much damage. And off tank, I have a Sun Tzu Alex, so that's quite a bit of skill damage there. So that's where that's one of your choose your own marches. If you have an AoE DPS, I would stick it back here in this corner. Specifically, if this is like a YSG, when they get marched on, I'm sure you understand how the marches rotate when they get attacked. So I like to have YSG over here. For an expertise YSG, I prefer this setup right here on the very left as my favorite setup by far. That way, when it gets marched across, the YSG swings down, and he can get an AoE on as many people as possible. Now, down here, you could still have the YSG and just swap him with the Ethelfled, That way when he rotates down, he's still in the giant clump. But you definitely don't want to leave him here at the bottom, because otherwise he's going to rotate down and only get like 2 or 3 marches as opposed to 4. Okay, so now we've talked about the location of our mega tank. We've talked about the location of our support march. We've talked about the location of our AoE DPS march. So I'd like to run one tank as my lone march. You can also do a DPS here as a lone march. What this is going to determine is whoever's lone march dies first in the 4-stack meta, their enemy will be forced to run towards them. So like if this OG dies first, then the enemy will come and they will rush my troops up here. Now why this is important is when those guys have left combat and I'm still fighting this tank that's even stronger than my tank, just didn't die quick enough, I am still building rage. So they'll come over, this tank might just be dying and my Kusunoki's popping off, a YSG AoE. I don't know. So ideally you want to have this march either inflict enough damage that it dying early is negated, or just tanky enough to hold off the line while you kill all the other marches. Yeah, 4-stack with 1 low march. This is the set to go. Okay, so let's talk about the other defensive formations just for contrast, so you can kind of understand why I like the 4-stack so much. So we're gonna look at these as the 2-1-2 and the 1-2-1-1. There's only so many variations you can have. These are probably the 2 most common ones other than the 4-stack. These are both subparts of the 4-stack and are countered by the 4-stack reverse, which is what I basically call when you line up your 4-stack on the opposite side that they have their 4-stack lined up, and you kill the lone marches, and then they just mishmash in the middle for a huge AoE showdown. So the 2-1-2, first of all, is probably, I don't know, maybe more weak than the 1-2-1-1, but I don't know. It's all speculation. Don't use either of them. What I would say is you can line up over here against these two, pull away these 2 marches against your 4, and then these 3 are facing your 1-stack march, and that gives you such a huge advantage, because now like 2 marches are not receiving the benefit of your Joan, who I presume is somewhere in the middle here, and 2, you just have the numbers advantage. You definitely don't want to run the 2-1-2 or the 1-2-1-1. They just don't protect your support march enough, or they don't allow it to buff everybody. So this is defense. The 4-stack is the way to go. I'm going to give some actual examples in game so that I can explain it as it plays through. Oh no, did I lose my attack? I lost my attack. What's it called? Slide somewhere. That's okay. We're just gonna pretend that nothing happened here. Gonna go back to this. Oh no. Ah, there we go. It did show up. Great. I was really worried it wasn't gonna show up for a second. I am now back. Okay. So let's put some of what we just learned in action. That was a whole bunch of information. Some of it wasn't very clear because you didn't see it directly apply itself. So we're going to run through it and we'll explain it as we go, and I think it'll make more sense to you. So where is my game? Here we go. So what I like to do is I like to go in history. What I've done is I went and I looked at some of the formations of people who attacked me, and then I decided, okay, let's see what I can do. I know this guy is running a 2-1-2. We'll see in a second. See, here's the 2-1-2. So first of all, I shouldn't be able to beat this guy. This guy has multiple expertise legendaries, much stronger than mine. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. And he's VIP 14, so he's got extra troops. Okay. So this is why the 2-1-2 is weak. We're going to demonstrate that right now. So what's going to happen here is I have my mega tank, I have my off tank, my DPS, and my support, and then my tanky lone march. This guy is going to walk over this way. Usually I like to leave him far because over here is where they'll put, I don't know, like I example, I have my Sun Tzu Alex. I would rather this OG do more damage to a Sun Tzu Alex than try to attack a Richard or a Charles, right? So you just get more damage off if you put it further away. Also, it pulls them further away so that these 2 marches aren't going to get buffed by Joan. So let's just watch it play out, and I have some stuff to explain as it plays out. So what happens when you're facing the 2-1-2 is you face these two lone marches. These three marches go up here on their own. This all kind of blobs together. These two marches will die. I bet you I'll kill them faster than they can kill just this one march. I guess we'll see what happens here. But the reason we set up our troops in the way we do is because it determines what order they will be attacked once they meet in the middle. You might think, oh, they're just going to attack whoever is nearest to them. But you'll see it's not exactly that way. I'm just going to fast forward this so you can see. Oh, I lost. I won this earlier. I can't believe I lost that. You know, sometimes there's some RNG to it. That's okay. I'm not going to complain. That's a part of it. That's okay. Go back to explaining. Okay, so this is what we call the 4-stack reverse. If you want to go on attack, I like to run the 4-stack reverse. Him having his Sun Tzu down here is actually not a terrible idea because he will get AoE on all these guys. However, I feel like the longevity of just having that Sun Tzu alive for longer pays off in the long run. So when you go to attack, these guys go here, these guys go here. You know that, obviously. So where does it go after that when they all meet in the middle? Well, I'll tell you. First, they're all going to focus the Richard. That's why you keep your super mega tank here, because they will focus that mega tank first. After they kill your mega tank, they will move and they will attack the support march that's behind it. It's not always the most convenient thing, but that's how she goes. You wouldn't want to put the support march up here, for example, because then if they line up straight against you, your support march is walking right into its death. So this is what you gotta do, unfortunately, for the meta. That's how I play it. I like to have my damage off tank here, and then my Kusunoki. So they're going to kill the Sun Tzu, kill my Olgi, meet up in the middle. Both the Richards should be dying first. We'll see if this Kusunoki dies before the Charles Ethelfled, and I think that'll help confirm what I just said to you guys. Let's just look at what they got here. They have a whole ton of infantry. I'm just going to make this Ethelfled archer heavy because of all that infantry. Also, she has better equipment for that. Oh, is it reset? It is reset. Oh, I didn't even burn all these tickets. It's okay. I spent so long trying to get this video together. It's okay. I'm just pushing through it. Screw all the restarts. Okay, so let's watch this play out. Oh no. Awaiting results. Hello? Oh no, what happened there? Oh, it's because of the reset. The 2-1-2. I can't believe I lost to that. I really want to prove to you guys that I can beat him. We'll do that really quick. Is it not going to let me do anything? This is so unfortunate. Why? The video is not getting explained as concisely as I would like it to be. But I gave you the gist of it. I might not go and explain everything. I'm going to show you the formations compared to what they should be. I think I kind of already did that. I explained what order your troops are going to be attacked in, why we have the mega tank here, why we have our off tank here, our support here, and our AoE DPS there. You want to primarily have support and AoE DPS. So when I say that, you want to have like you're going to Joan, your Ethelfled. If you have a good Mulan, like a 5511 Mulan, use that. Mulan's great. Those are probably the top 3 supports. If you have an expertise Barca, you know, that's an AoE debuff. You could use that. That's a great one too. Although I'm sure he falls off once they introduce more commanders into the game. For your AoE, you know, you have Baibars, you have Kusunoki, you have Ethelfled. You have a wide variety of Mehmed. There's a lot of AoE commanders out there. You want to stack as much AoE as you can. It's like you gotta balance your AoE, your tankiness, and your support. You'll find the perfect thing somewhere. Do I run this just to see how it goes? I don't want to show myself losing over and over again. You know, I'm gonna fight that guy that I faced just now, just to prove that the 2-1-2 is inferior to the 4-stack. There is a V. What do you mean? Alright guys, well I hope you learned something. If you have anything to add to this, then by all means, you know, leave a comment below, leave a like and subscribe. If there's a better formation that you think I should talk about, then let's hear it. If you have some sort of meta that you think works really well for you, better than the 4 stack, then share it. I think the whole world would love to hear it. All right, until next time, take it easy, and you have fun smashing your toe on furniture.